Hello students, I hope you are all fine and in good health. In this audio presentation, I will discuss the final segment from Landscape of the Soul, and that is the heading is Getting Inside Outsider Art. When French painter Jean Duffet mooted the concept of art brut in the 1940s, the art of the untrained visionary was of minority interest. At that time, uh, those people who are not trained yet they are creatively very strong, they were not taken into due consideration as such. From its almost veiled beginnings, outsider art has gradually become the fastest growing area of interest in contemporary art internationally. So, from its minor beginnings, slowly and slowly, outsider art had gained momentum, and in due course of time it became the fastest growing area of interest in contemporary art all over the world. Internationally means all over the world. This genre is described as the art of those who have no right to be artists. Actually, they don't have any formal training, but they are extremely talented, or rather to say, they have creative abilities, inborn, or we can say innate creative abilities. But having said that, I want to repeat it once again, dear students. They are not trained. They are not actually trained, but still they are very talented. This genre is described as the art of those who have no right to be artists, as they have received no formal training. They have received no training as such, but as I told you, they have innate creative abilities or inborn creative abilities, yet show talent and artistic insight despite they don't have any sort of formal training, yet they show talent and artistic insight, or we can say artistic knowledge. Their works are a stimulating contrast to a lot of mainstream offerings. So ultimately, we can consider that despite they don't have any formal training, yet their created arts are of vast importance, and they are at par sometimes with mainstream offerings. Around the time Duffet was propounding his concept in India, an untutored genius, untutored who has never been taught the nuances of art and creativity, but had learnt on his own. See this, in India, an untutored genius was creating paradise. Years ago, the little patch of jungle that he began clearing to make himself a garden sculpted with stone and recycled material is known to the world today as the Rock Garden in Chandigarh. Now, that famous Rock Garden. Its 80-year-old creator, Nek Chand. Nek Chand is actually the untutored genius. He was clearing up his garden, but he decided to make it a rock garden, the famous rock garden at Chandigarh. And its creator is an old person by the name of Nek Chand, who was an 80-year-old creator director, is now hailed. Hailed means is now considered as India's biggest contributor to outsider art. Now, if we consider this genre seriously, outsider art, Nek Chand can be said to be one of its greatest proponent, or rather to say, Nek Chand can be considered one of its greatest visionary. The 50th issue of Raw Vision. Now, what is Raw Vision? It is a UK based pioneer in outsider art publications. Features Nek Chand and his rock garden sculpture, Woman by the Waterfall, on its anniversary issue cover. Now, that particular magazine by the name of Raw Vision, it had actually portrayed the rock garden sculpture of Nek Chand, and the title of that rock garden sculpture was Woman by the Waterfall, and it was been projected on the anniversary issue cover of its magazine. Now, the concept of art brut or raw art was of works that were in their raw state as regards cultural and artistic influence. Now, raw art means their art is in the raw state. If we consider it from the cultural perspective, if we consider it from the artistic perspective, anything and everything from a tin to a sink to a broken down car could be material for a work of art. Anything, any raw materials. That is the reason it has been considered as the raw art. Any material. It can be a broken car, down car. It can be a tin. It can be a sink to a broken down car. Any raw material can be utilized in a creative manner, and Nek Chand had already shown it to us. Nek Chand has taken those things to dizzying heights, to great heights. Those raw art, it was actually taken to a highest level of creative excellence by Nek Chand. Recognizing his art as an outstanding testimony of the difference a single man can make when he lives his dream. Ultimately, it is a source of motivation also that a single man he can live his dream. Now all the raw materials are used and sculpted, and those raw materials finally after they were been sculpted, they became artistic beauties, and Nek Chand was actually the man responsible for all this. The Swiss Commission for UNESCO will be honoring him by way of a European exposition of his works. The 5-month interactive show Realm of Nek Chand beginning October will be held at leading museums in Switzerland. So Nek Chand really became very popular because the way he has expressed his creative excellence and talent related with raw art. Not only it was became popular in our country, but it became popular all over the world, for which the UNESCO decided to honor him. The 5-month interactive show Realm of Nek Chand, the entire world of Nek Chand, beginning October will be held at leading museums in Switzerland, Belgium, France, and Italy. And his display exhibitions of his raw art, it will cover most of the famous countries of the world where art was considered as an expression of the creative mind, particularly in Switzerland, Belgium, France, and Italy. The biggest reward is walking through the garden and seeing people enjoy my creation, Nek Chand says. So finally, if we want to consider Nek Chand's viewpoint, he loves people coming and watching his work, and that particular feeling gives him a lot of satisfaction because people come and people are really enjoying his creation. Now one important thing is that Nek Chand, he is not a trained artist, but he is a genius, exceptional genius, because he considered the raw materials as very essential components of his creative excellence and used it to the best of his abilities, and sculpted many unforgettable specimens of raw art, and became popular not only in our country but became popular all over the world. So dear students, this was the particular portion that was been left. Actually it was been taken from a newspaper. The reporter name has been given Brinda Suri, and it was published way back in 2005 on 20th August in the Hindustan Times. Now that is related with art brut or outsider art or raw art. Very important portion, the remaining portion of this landscape of the soul. So dear students, kindly go through this audio presentation, and if there is any problem anywhere, do let me ask. Thank you students.